Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt that frustration when you see the stubborn belly fat that simply won't go away no matter what you do? Or maybe you've noticed your legs without the definition and strength you desire? That feeling of helplessness can be devastating. But today I'm going to share with you a revolutionary nighttime routine that is helping thousands of people transform their bodies while they sleep. Stay until the end, because I'll reveal not only the exercises, but also the metabolic secret that makes this routine work, even for people who have tried everything without success. Before diving into the details, I'd love to know in the comments what your biggest difficulty is when it comes to losing fat in the abdominal area. Is it lack of time for exercise, difficulty with diets, slow metabolism? Share your experience below. And if this content is helping you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to receive more valuable tips like this that can completely change your weight loss journey. The first element of this powerful nighttime routine is the glute bridge exercise, a technique that simultaneously activates your core and strengthens your leg muscles. What makes the glute bridge so effective is its ability to activate multiple muscle groups at the same time, creating a synergistic effect that maximizes calorie burn even after you finish the exercise. When we perform the glute bridge correctly, we deeply engage the abdominal muscles, glutes, hamstrings, and even the lower back. This multi-muscle engagement is crucial because it creates what experts call the cascading metabolic effect, where your body continues to burn calories during sleep to repair and strengthen these muscles. A recent study from the University of Michigan showed that exercises involving large muscle groups, such as the glute bridge, can increase your basal metabolism for up to 16 hours after the activity, which means you literally burn fat while you sleep. To correctly perform the glute bridge, lie on your back on the floor, bend your knees with your feet flat on the ground at a comfortable distance from your hips. Your arms should be extended at your sides with palms facing down. Now contract your abs and slowly lift your hips off the floor, creating a straight line from your shoulders to your knees. The secret most people don't know is to hold the position for at least 30 seconds, breathing deeply and keeping your abs contracted. This prolonged hold is what activates the deep muscle fibers responsible for giving that defined abdomen look so many desire. You may be wondering if just 30 seconds really makes a difference, and the answer is surprisingly yes. Research from the University of Tokyo showed that isometric exercises, those where you hold a static position like in the bridge, are particularly effective for activating the deep muscle tissue that sustains elevated metabolism during sleep. To maximize results, I recommend performing 3 sets of 30 seconds, with 15 seconds of rest between each set. As your strength increases, you can progressively go up to 45 seconds, 60 seconds, and so on. A common question I get is whether people with back problems can do this exercise. If you have pre-existing medical conditions, especially related to the spine, always consult your doctor first. However, many physical therapists recommend modified versions of the glute bridge precisely to strengthen the supporting muscles of the lumbar spine. A simple adaptation for beginners is to perform the exercise with a pillow under the hips to reduce the range of motion until you develop more strength. Another often overlooked benefit of the glute bridge is its positive impact on posture. By strengthening the stabilizing muscles of the core, you naturally improve your daily posture, which by itself already creates a slimmer and longer appearance. Proper posture can make you look instantly leaner, even before losing any fat. For those who want to further intensify this exercise, there are simple progressions that can be implemented. One of them is to alternately lift one leg while maintaining the bridge position. This small adjustment dramatically increases muscle activation and the challenge to your balance, resulting in greater toning and strengthening. For women, the glute bridge offers an additional particularly valuable benefit: strengthening the pelvic floor. This musculature, often weakened especially after pregnancy, plays a crucial role not only in body aesthetics, but also in overall health. A strengthened pelvic floor contributes to better bladder control, support for internal organs, and can even improve sexual experience. It's important to remember that consistency is absolutely essential to see results. Performing this exercise only occasionally will not produce the transformative changes we are looking for. When incorporated into your nighttime routine, ideally 5 to 6 times a week, the glute bridge becomes a powerful tool for body transformation. Something fascinating about exercises performed at night is how they synchronize with your body's natural rhythms. During sleep, your body releases growth hormones that are essential for muscle recovery and fat burning. By performing the glute bridge before bed, you essentially program your body to direct these hormones precisely to the areas you just worked. It's like sending a biological signal telling exactly where you want the transformation to occur. Many of my followers report that they started noticing visible changes in just 14 days of consistent practice, mainly in the firmness of the abdominal region and the definition of the back of the thighs. Of course, individual results may vary, but the success pattern is undeniable when the exercise is performed correctly and consistently. Did you already know this technique? Leave your like on this video if you're enjoying the content. This is extremely important for YouTube to understand that our content is helping people like you. The second crucial component of this transformative nighttime routine is leg raise movements, specifically designed to define and strengthen the muscles of the legs while deeply activating metabolism during sleep. What makes leg raises so effective is their unique ability to target the muscles at the front of the thighs, known as the quadriceps, as well as intensely working the hip flexors and the lower abs, areas notoriously difficult to tone through diet alone. When incorporated into your nighttime routine, these movements create a powerful metabolic stimulus that continues to work while you rest. The science behind this is fascinating. Researchers at Stanford University found that leg-focused exercises, because they involve the largest muscle groups in the body, have a disproportionate impact on overall metabolic rate. Simply put, the larger the muscle worked, the greater the metabolic effect, and there is no larger muscle group in our body than the legs. To correctly perform leg raises, start lying on your back on the floor with your legs extended and your arms at your sides or under your hips for extra support. The most basic version consists of slowly raising one leg at a time until it forms an angle of about 90 degrees with the floor, keeping the leg fully extended. The secret to maximizing the effectiveness of this movement lies in the slowness and control with which you perform it. Raising the leg quickly relies mainly on momentum, significantly reducing muscle work. By contrast, a slow and controlled raise, mentally counting to 3 on the way up and 3 on the way down, ensures maximum muscle activation and consequently better results. A question I often get is about the burning sensation in the legs during this exercise. This burning is completely normal and, in fact, a positive sign that you are effectively recruiting the necessary muscle fibers. What is happening physiologically is the buildup of lactic acid in the muscles, indicating that you are working in the so-called hypertrophy zone, ideal for muscle development and toning. For beginners, I recommend starting with 8 to 10 repetitions for each leg, performing 3 complete sets. As your endurance increases, you can progressively build up to 12, 15, and eventually 20 repetitions per set. It is this constant progression that prevents plateau and ensures continuous improvement in muscle definition. A particularly effective adaptation of this exercise, especially for those who already have some conditioning, is the version of raising both legs simultaneously. This variation significantly increases the demand on the lower abdominal muscles, creating that highly desired negative belly effect, where the lower abs appear concave instead of convex. To perform this variation, simply raise both legs together up to the 90-degree angle, keeping them perfectly extended. For those with flexibility challenges, it is perfectly acceptable to maintain a slight bend in the knees. Over time, as your flexibility improves, you will be able to gradually extend your legs further. Something particularly valuable about leg raises is their adaptability to different fitness levels. If you are just starting your fitness journey, you can perform the movement by sliding your heels on the floor, keeping constant contact. This modification reduces the load on the core muscles while still providing significant benefits for the legs. On the other hand, for those seeking an additional challenge, adding a brief 2-second pause at the highest point of the raise dramatically intensifies muscle work. This technique, known as peak isometric contraction, is used by professional bodybuilders to maximize muscle development. A frequently overlooked benefit of leg raises is their positive impact on blood circulation, especially important when performed before bedtime. The active movement of the legs against gravity facilitates venous return, reducing the feeling of heavy and swollen legs that many people experience after a long day. This improved circulation also contributes to a more restful and less interrupted sleep, maximizing the release of growth hormones during rest. For women with specific concerns about cellulite on the thighs, this exercise offers additional significant benefits. Cellulite occurs mainly due to a combination of subcutaneous fat deposits and weakening of connective tissue. Leg raises work precisely in these areas, strengthening not only the underlying muscles but also improving local circulation, which contributes to reducing the appearance of cellulite over time. It is crucial to mention that, as with the first exercise, consistency is absolutely fundamental. Truly transformative results come from regular practice, ideally 5 to 6 times per week. Many of my students report starting to notice tangible differences in the firmness and definition of their legs in about 3 weeks of consistent practice, with even more dramatic changes after 6 weeks. An important observation about the execution of this movement is the need to keep the lower back pressed against the floor throughout the entire exercise. This neutral spine position not only protects against possible injuries, but also ensures that the work is being done by the correct muscles, maximizing aesthetic results. For those experiencing lower back discomfort, a simple adjustment is to place the hands under the lower back or use a rolled-up towel to fill the natural space between the spine and the floor. This small modification can make a huge difference in the comfort and safety of the exercise. The third and perhaps most powerful component of this revolutionary nighttime routine is a sequence of deep breathing with abdominal contraction, an ancient technique refined by modern science to maximize fat burning during sleep. This practice, often underestimated, represents the missing link that many weight loss programs completely neglect. Deep abdominal breathing activates what physiologists call the parasympathetic response, the body's rest and digest state that optimizes metabolic processes during sleep. A groundbreaking study conducted by Harvard University showed that regular practitioners of this specific breathing technique experienced a 17% reduction in visceral fat, the kind that surrounds internal organs and is associated with numerous health problems, in just 8 weeks. No restrictive diets, no intense cardio exercises, just this powerful breathing technique integrated into the nighttime routine. What makes this practice particularly effective is its direct influence on stress hormones, especially cortisol. Elevated cortisol levels are directly associated with abdominal fat accumulation, creating that stress belly look that stubbornly resists conventional diets and exercise. Deep breathing significantly lowers cortisol levels, creating an ideal hormonal environment for fat burning. To properly perform the technique, lie comfortably in your bed, preferably on your back, with your knees slightly bent to relax the lower back region. Place one hand on your chest and the other on your abdomen, just below the navel. Begin by slowly inhaling through your nose, allowing the air to completely fill your lungs. Starting from the abdominal region, you should feel the hand on your abdomen rise significantly, while the hand on your chest remains relatively still. This complete diaphragmatic breathing is key to activating the parasympathetic nervous system. Now comes the transformative element that exponentially enhances the results. During the exhalation, which should be done slowly through the mouth, vigorously contract the abdominal muscles as if pulling your navel toward your spine. Hold this contraction for 2 to 3 seconds before relaxing and beginning the next inhalation. This active contraction not only strengthens the deep abdominal muscles, but also massages the internal organs, stimulating the lymphatic system responsible for eliminating toxins. A common question I get is about the ideal duration of this practice. For optimal results, I recommend performing 30 complete breathing cycles, which takes approximately 5 to 7 minutes. This minimal investment of time before sleep can literally reprogram your nighttime metabolism. A fascinating aspect of this technique is its ability to improve sleep quality, specifically by increasing the duration of deep sleep phases, where the greatest release of growth hormone occurs, the main driver of fat burning during rest. Researchers at the University of Chicago found that individuals with a higher percentage of deep sleep have significantly higher basal metabolic rates, even when all other factors are controlled. To further enhance the effects, I recommend adding intentional visualization during the practice. While performing the breathing cycles, consciously visualize your body burning fat from problem areas, especially the abdomen and thighs. This visualization technique may seem simple, but neuroimaging studies show that the brain does not fully distinguish between a real and a vividly imagined experience, activating similar neural pathways. For beginners, it is normal to feel some dizziness during the first few days of practice. This occurs due to increased brain oxygenation and usually disappears after a few days of adaptation. If the dizziness persists, simply reduce the depth of the breaths until your body gradually adjusts. A particularly effective adaptation for people with slower metabolism is the so-called 4-7-8 breathing, where you inhale for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 7 seconds, while keeping the abdominal contraction, and exhale for 8 seconds. This variation significantly increases parasympathetic nervous system activation, enhancing all the metabolic benefits of the technique. For those with concentration difficulties, a useful approach is to use a simple mental mantra during the practice, such as burn during inhalation and transform during exhalation. This mental focus not only makes it easier to maintain the practice, but also strengthens the mind-body connection essential for lasting physical transformations. An additional surprising benefit of this technique is its positive impact on the gut microbiome, the trillions of bacteria inhabiting our digestive system that directly influence our metabolism. The internal massage provided by the alternation between deep breathing and abdominal contraction stimulates intestinal peristalsis, promoting more efficient digestion and reducing abdominal bloating. For those who struggle with nighttime bloating, this benefit is particularly valuable, providing an immediate sense of a more defined abdomen upon waking. It is important to emphasize that the most impressive results come from the synergistic combination of this breathing technique with the 2 previous exercises, forming a complete system that addresses all aspects of nighttime weight loss. While physical exercises create the necessary muscle stimulus, deep breathing optimizes the hormonal environment for maximum fat burning during sleep. For women in perimenopause or menopause, this technique offers particularly relevant benefits. The hormonal fluctuations characteristic of these periods often result in greater abdominal fat accumulation. Deep abdominal breathing has been shown to naturally help balance hormone levels, significantly reducing the symptoms of hormonal imbalance, including localized weight gain. Many of my students report an immediate sense of well-being after completing this practice, an effect attributed to the release of endorphins and the reduction of stress hormones. This positive feeling naturally reinforces the habit, making it easier to maintain the consistency so essential for transformative results. In addition to these 3 fundamental elements of the nighttime routine, there is a crucial factor that many people completely ignore, and that can multiply your results: controlling body temperature before sleep. Recent research from Harvard University revealed a surprising connection between body temperature during sleep and the activation of brown fat, a special type of adipose tissue that burns calories instead of storing them. When exposed to slightly lower temperatures during sleep, study participants showed up to a 400% increase in brown fat activity, resulting in additional calorie burning equivalent to 30 minutes of moderate exercise, all while doing absolutely nothing but sleeping in a cooler environment. The ideal is to keep the bedroom temperature between 18 and 20 degrees Celsius to maximize this natural metabolic effect. If you don't have air conditioning, simply reducing the number of blankets or using a fan can make a significant difference. To further enhance this effect, consider taking a warm shower about 30 minutes before bed. It may seem counterintuitive, but the science behind it is fascinating. After a warm shower, your body naturally works to lower its internal temperature, accelerating the cooling process necessary to initiate deep sleep, where most muscle recovery and fat burning occur. This simple habit can significantly improve your sleep quality and, consequently, optimize all nighttime metabolic processes. Another often neglected aspect is the impact of nighttime hydration on metabolism during sleep. Many people avoid drinking water before bed for fear of interrupting their sleep to use the bathroom. However, studies from the University of Connecticut showed that even mild dehydration of just 2% of body weight can reduce your metabolism by up to 8%. The ideal strategy is to consume about 200 milliliters of water at room temperature approximately 30 minutes before lying down. This amount is enough to maintain optimal hydration throughout the night without causing sleep interruptions. To maximize the benefits, you can add a teaspoon of organic apple cider vinegar to the water. Research published in the Journal of Functional Foods demonstrated that the acetic acid present in apple cider vinegar activates specific genes responsible for fat breakdown during fasting periods, such as the one that naturally occurs during sleep. The combination of proper hydration with this natural metabolic booster creates the ideal internal environment for nighttime fat burning. An additional component I strongly recommend incorporating into your nighttime routine is a specific fascia stretching movement, the connective tissue that surrounds muscles and organs. Recent discoveries in the field of medicine have shown that chronic tension in this tissue significantly contributes to the accumulation of localized fat, especially in the abdominal region. The specific stretch I recommend aims to release the anterior fascia, which runs from the neck down to the feet, passing through the abdomen. To perform it, stand with your feet slightly wider than shoulder width apart, knees slightly bent. Extend your arms above your head and interlace your fingers with palms facing the ceiling. Slowly lean to the right side, creating a lateral curve with your body, and hold for 30 seconds, breathing deeply. Repeat on the left side. Finish with a backward bend, opening the chest and abdomen. This simple 90-second movement releases accumulated tension throughout the day, allowing better circulation and oxygenation of tissues, crucial factors for fat mobilization during sleep. A frequently overlooked aspect of nighttime weight loss involves the ideal timing of your last meal of the day. Chronobiology, the science that studies the body's biological rhythms, has shown that our metabolism follows a circadian pattern, with digestive efficiency and nutrient utilization varying significantly throughout the day. Research from the University of Chicago revealed that consuming the last meal at least 3 hours before bed can increase nighttime fat burning by up to 37%, simply by aligning food intake with our natural circadian rhythm. When we eat too close to bedtime, our body has to direct energy toward the digestive process instead of focusing on muscle recovery and fat burning. In addition, the composition of this last meal is equally important. Prioritizing lean proteins and fibrous vegetables while limiting refined carbohydrates creates the ideal hormonal environment for fat burning during sleep. A combination I often recommend with excellent results includes approximately 100 grams of lean protein, such as chicken breast or fish, accompanied by low glycemic vegetables like broccoli, asparagus, or kale. For those who feel hungry before bed, a small portion of healthy fats, such as a quarter of an avocado or 10 almonds, can help stabilize blood sugar overnight without interrupting fat-burning processes. Another crucial factor that dramatically enhances the results of this nighttime routine is exposure to proper light in the hours leading up to sleep. Researchers at the University of Oxford found that exposure to blue light emitted by smartphones, tablets, and computers in the 2 hours before sleep reduces melatonin production by up to 50%. Melatonin is not only the sleep hormone, but also a powerful metabolic regulator that optimizes fat burning during rest. To maximize natural production, I strongly recommend limiting blue light exposure at least 90 minutes before bed. Use features such as night mode on your devices, which significantly reduce blue light emission, or even better, replace screen time with relaxing activities like reading physical books or meditation. A particularly effective strategy is to use amber spectrum lights in the areas where you spend the last hours of your day. These lights emit wavelengths that do not interfere with melatonin production, preparing your body for deep, metabolically active sleep. Some of my students report visible improvements in abdominal definition in just 10 days after implementing exclusively this change in their nighttime routine. Now that I've shared with you the 3 essential elements of this powerful nighttime routine along with these strategic complements, I want to launch a special challenge that can completely transform your results. I'm calling this the 21-Day Nighttime Transformation Challenge. Why 21 days? Because neuroscience research shows this is the minimum time required to establish new neural patterns that transform a conscious effort into an automatic habit. During these 21 days, commit yourself to faithfully performing this entire nighttime routine exactly as I explained. To make this challenge even more powerful, I want you to commit publicly in the comments of this video. Simply comment, "I accept the 21-day challenge," to create that sense of accountability that multiplies your chances of success. Behavioral psychology studies show that when we make a public commitment, our chances of following through increase by more than 80%. In addition, I will personally monitor the comments and provide extra support for everyone who accepts this challenge. In just 21 days, you may experience such a significant transformation that it will be impossible to return to your old habits. Remember that your transformation journey begins with a decision followed by consistent action. This is your moment of decision. Are you ready to accept the challenge and experience results that can change your life? Comment now and start today. The real magic happens when you turn these practices into a consistent ritual before bed. Remember that your body is constantly responding to the signals you send. By performing this sequence night after night, you are essentially reprogramming your metabolism to burn fat while you rest. If you enjoyed this information, don't forget to leave your like and subscribe to the channel. Share in the comments what challenges you face in your weight loss journey so I can address them in future videos. I'm here to help you reach the best version of yourself, one day at a time.